What's going on, everybody? Welcome to WAEofFishing. I'm Way, and this is my Moken, FeelFree Moken that I have basically given over to Caleb. The seat on the Moken was no longer, the seat on the Moken is no longer comfortable for him. It's actually hurting his back. It's a sit-in kayak. It's a very, you sit down at the deck, but this rubber piece here was rubbing his back raw. You can see where it's been rubbing. It's gotten a lot of use, a lot of miles, a lot of sun. There is a time and place for this seat. I don't want y'all to think that I am not of the camp that a high position seat is where it's at. There are times where the seat that I'm trying to build here simply will not be able to be used, and this seat will outperform the high position seat. You can watch my other videos as we talk about it, but I bought a $30 Ascend kayak seat from Bass Pro Shops. What I'm hoping to do is modify it in such a way that he can sit in it tomorrow. We're going kayaking first thing in the morning. I'm trying to rig this up before we go. I don't know how I need to do this, so I'm not going to film step by step. If you're new to my channel, I really build a lot of things. A lot of my fabrication is I shoot from the hip. I just kind of figure it out as I go. I see it in my head. People have tried to come over and help me, but I don't plan it. I just kind of, it happens organically. So what I think I want to do is keep this front bar that's on here just for structural stability and not having raw metal to have to deal with. It's got little rubber feet. So I want those to sit there, okay? That'll raise them up off the bottom of the boat 4 inches. Put them basically even with the rails. The other seat you kind of sit down in, again, time and place. What I think I want to do is here in the back is I want to cut these off. Leave this frame, I want to cut behind that bolted area. Leave that frame. I don't think that's going to flex much with this hinge in there, but I'm going to cut behind here basically, right in there, and try to set it on this back area here. So right now, it's sitting up off the back of the kayak about 4 inches. We'll take that off and try to bring the back of the seat down. If I can get it close to the front, I'm okay with bumping the front up a little bit, right to like there. What I don't want to do is this. I really feel like that's too high. It's too high. You start changing the stability of the boat. I really want it like down there. If I put it in, it's just too far forward. That's not going to work. It's also possible if I cut, no, that's still too far forward. It really needs to be back here. So I'm gonna cut the camera off. I'm gonna get the saw out. I'm gonna cut this seat and we're just gonna dry fit it. My plan is take away material and then build framing or what have you to accommodate for that. I may end up taking away that material and then having to frame in here to hold the rear of the seat. We will see. But right now we just need to get that to come down. And I honestly think that if I cut right behind these hinges, I feel like if I cut right behind here, that'll give me what I need. So let's go cut that, and then we'll see where I kind of am after that. Y'all, I can't believe how well that turned out. Look at that. That's sitting, I mean, is it perfectly level? No. Is it, you won't notice fishing all day level? Absolutely. Now what we have though is I got to figure out how to keep it still. How do we keep it from, because right now it's just going to slide around. We don't want that. So how do we do that? And I want to make note, this seat off of this Ascend is heavier than the seat off of the Hoodoo, and it's heavier than the seat on the Crescent. Noticeably heavier. I handed it to Reggie this morning when he came over to look at it, and the first thing Reggie said is tether it. So put a tether on it. Hey, I made my camera's running. I made the one cut I told you about this morning. Come look at this. And all I did was I cut this back foot section off. Look how perfectly level that seat is.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's level right with the sides of the kayak. One cut. Now, the question that I was just talking about on camera is how we get it to stay still.
Maybe you attach it to the metal pieces, or is there only one?
There's only one of these.
Yeah, but what about the ones behind it?
I'm looking at those. I don't know how to tether, how to do that right this second, just yet. But we are going to figure it out. So we need to do that so that it doesn't flip up. This needs to be down, and then the back of this needs to not move. But hey, I mean, right this second, man, I'm pretty ecstatic about this. Like it just needs some sort of foot to sit in. I don't know. I could probably make that out of. I don't like using wood in anything on my kayak. I like using aluminum, stainless, and this wonder material known as extruded vinyl board. You can find this at Lowe's. It's essentially PVC board, and man, it comes in handy. But I could put these on the kayak, cut a little divot in them, so that way the seat rests in the same spot every single time. And I could just bolt. I could reach in. The Moken has an access hatch right behind the seat. See? I could just reach in and back bolt a foot on here. Okay, I'm gonna play around with that for a little while. Man, I tell you, I've been over here. Look like I got a storm rolling in too. I have been over here racking my brain for an hour trying to figure out how to get this seat situated. The problem is the rear. How am I going to keep the seat from moving laterally on the rear of the boat like this? And so I'm going to show y'all what I came up with. I just got the other one mounted. This is that PVC, exterior PVC board. What I did was I clamped two of them together. So I took two pieces, I put them together like that with a clamp, and I used a spade bit to bore a hole. So basically I bored down the center. So I ended up with a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch half round. Yeah, I got rain falling on me, okay? And what I did was the back of this seat sits right in it like this. Okay, this one isn't perfect, but it sits right in it. I'm screwing that into the bolt. And so then the seat basically has a channel. So I created a channel out of plastic, out of PVC. I'm assuming maybe you could do something similar out of PVC pipe to hold the rear of the boat. And then the only thing I have to do up here now is basically rig eye bolts to pin the seat down to the boat. Don't know, I could use the one and just put the one here, but that'll be in the way of the I don't know, because that's going to be in the way if we have to put the other seat on. It might not be too bad if I put it this way though. This is really, really smooth. But if I position that here, and then you can strap across or something. But I mean, that's the gist of it. That's the idea behind it. It's just something in the front to buckle to hold this down. I've got there are two of these mounted in the rear for the other seat. So what I'm thinking is putting, this one centered some kind of way, so that then a bungee can go around and back, but be held in place, centered, so that the bungee doesn't want to slide down either side of it. So I could do something like this, and then I could just bring the bungee through here, come over it, and go back to the hook points there, and that'll keep my force centered in the middle. Matter of fact, I think that's what I'll probably do. And that'll keep the front of the boat from coming up. Right, it's rocking because I don't have this other foot underneath it. Once I put the foot underneath it, it doesn't rock anymore. I got a thunderstorm about to fall on my head. It's gonna rain on your head. Seat still folds. I didn't lose any of that functionality. I wonder if I want to do. I might do a cinch string. So I already talked about how we cut the back of the seat. So what I did here is I went ahead and mounted that I don't know what you call it. It's not an eye bolt. It's a, I don't know. It's just a tether bolt. I don't know. It's stainless steel. Mounted that to the floor. I put a bungee underneath it. So the bungee has an anchor point in the center of the seat, matched with the center of the kayak. So now the seat, we stopped it from coming up, basically, right? See that? Which is what we wanted. The seat still has foldable functionality. See, the whole boat's wiggling now instead of the seat. It's kind of janky looking, but the goal here is functionality and not aesthetics. When the seat's up, you don't even notice it. So what we're gonna do now, we did have to cut. This is a regular bungee from Harbor Freight. I'm gonna tip the seat forward so you can see. I had to cut the ends of it. This bungee came out to here. So it was so long that I couldn't get them behind the tethers back here, okay? Little eye bolts. So we did have to cut that. The seat is easy to maneuver. So if it comes loose, Caleb and I have already played with it. It's very easy to work with. I will say that I had to repair this seat. It came from Bass Pro Shops. The seat was bent, so I had to get a vise, and this bracket back here was bent on one side. They may have sent me a return, I don't know.
Is that why it was so cheap?
No, it's just cheap. It's just an Ascend seat. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take it off of the sawhorses. It's got foam in it, look at that. And it's ventilated. And so we're gonna take it off the sawhorses and we're gonna set it on the grass and we're gonna have Caleb sit in it and see what he thinks. It's not bad. It's not bad for Frankenstein and the seat on a boat, I think. In an hour and a half. So tide stacking up against this wind, and it's like a bathtub right now. Tide's trying to come in, wind's coming this way. This is how you get flipped. Yep. That's it. That's kind of a rough video. So thank you for watching Way of Fishing. Get out there and fish your way. We're gonna be on the bay tomorrow, and it is rather windy out here. And it's going to be windy tomorrow, so hopefully we can find some tucked up out of the way spots to catch a fish. So see y'all.